things have value because you think they'll have more value down the line. If that's the only reason, then that's what we call a bubble. There was the tulip mania in the Netherlands, where tulips had value. Of course, tulips have intrinsic value. They're pretty, but not so much value as was being ascribed to them then. Now, typically, cryptocurrencies have, at this point, two sources of value. One is as a store of value. I buy it because it's an asset which is going to appreciate. But again, they don't pay any dividends. So what is the underlying source of that appreciation? That's the second source, which is typically a use in payments. Now, do we really need 6,000 cryptocurrencies to do payments? One or two, maybe a handful, are what are going to survive to be used as payments, even if the technology is so useful that it substitutes for, cash and currency, fiat currency issued by central banks. So that would suggest that most cryptos are unlikely to survive with high values going forward. I think the central banks want to buy time to see if this is really transitory, because raising rates has so many other effects today, including slowing activity. After the Congress has spent $6 trillion in producing the best recovery that money can buy, it would be a bold Fed to take the bottom out of the recovery, the supports out of the recovery, by raising interest rates too quickly. But there's also the financial markets. The Fed would want to let air out of the financial markets slowly rather than abruptly, causing a crisis of confidence and potentially wealth effects. So in this situation, I think central bankers have a very, very difficult task. They have to ensure that growth doesn't collapse. At the same time, they have to control inflation. And, with eyes on both, my sense is they typically will be behind the curve. So we will see higher inflation for longer than we would otherwise if they didn't have all these other considerations.